Sonia.
Hello, Lilu. Bonjour.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so happy to talk to you. It's my first conversation of the new year, and what a great way to start the new year with you. And it's an important topic and something that I think will really empower a lot of people.
Yeah, intuition is especially important right now, and for me, you're one of the very important teacher for this coming year, for the next year to come. And I'm very delighted that people will have a sneak peek at our own personal session. This is actually how it works when people are in session with you. And I wanted to
Right,
share this with as many people as possible so that we can really see in a very concrete, practical way what intuition can do for us and how it can
right,
empower us and people around us to make really efficient move. As your latest book says, traveling at the speed of love, going straight there. So,
Well, I also like to address as we go through this conversation some of the myths that hover around working with intuition, your own, or being guided, so that you're well informed as a viewer and that you really are grounded in a sensible, conscious understanding of what intuition is, how it works, how intuitive messengers work, so that you can be a conscious consumer if you're going to visit someone like myself, or also how to really tune into your own, because true intuitive messengers function primarily as teachers, and how to activate and empower you with a clear understanding of your own soul purpose and path, which is the whole point of how life works best. So that's one of the things I'm really interested in sharing, because it seems to be a gray zone for a lot of people. They're not real clear
no, no,
about how it works.
yeah, wonderful. So, how are we going to split this, Sonia? Because I know we're doing three sessions. So, this one would be more about an insight. You're doing a
Well,
session, a psychic
yeah,
session.
I'm going to work with you, but as I work, I'm also going to explain a little bit. So I'm going to walk you through the process as we go through the process. How does that sound?
That's perfect. That's exactly it.
Idea. So we're going to start by first let me explaining that when you work with an intuitive person, it is not one size fits all. My perception is that we work with the essence of spirit. We work with the essence of creativity. So we are more like artists than we are scientists.
Yeah.
So it's really important when you enter into an intuitive dialogue that you understand that it is a creative and dynamic process. And it's not just, let me just read your future report and as some sort of static thing set in stone. So that's just a first point, that it's a dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And my function is to look at your soul frequency, which is my gift, to reflect that soul frequency back to you and help you better understand your frequency, your vibration, the energies that you are emoting, the energies that you are working with. And we're going to look at those energies individually. Almost say we're looking at a car and we're going to look at the cylinders and see if each one is firing correctly.
So you mean
Because
like our soul is emanating something, a frequency, like a tone, and you can see if that tone is not fine-tuned
yeah,
and
if
if it
that
makes a
tone
little bit
is,
of a strange noise maybe, or...
or if it's resonating and in flow and working at optimum
Cool.
frequency, or if it's gone dull, if it's gone dormant, if it's not operating at all. If it's slagging and pulling things back, then what we're going to do is we're going to work to make an adjustment in your energetic field. And this is something unique to me because, and people ask me what I do. Part of what I do, I say, is a bit of an energetic alchemy. Is not only do I recognize your energies, but I adjust them
Hmm.
energetically, so that you can just kind of get back into a flow. It's as though I may jumpstart aspects of your nature that might be dormant or in negative pattern or stuck in some kind of an unconscious rut.
But then I guess it's up to me or the individual to also do their share at that, or you're actually really opening some kind of doors there?
Well, I'm actually recalibrating your vibration. So it's up to you to sustain that. So either you'll go on for a little while and you'll feel better, and then boom, you'll fall back into some slumps, but you will at least be aware as to why. Or you can take the information, take the calibration as a gift, and really begin to work with your energies in the most positive, dynamic way, making new conscious choices. And then your life really takes off. So, I mean, I have clients where one conversation is life-changing, and that's my ideal. I have clients whose a conversation with them has really made them aware, and they work a little bit with it, and so there are market improvements, but they're not quite ready to make that dramatic shift. I will give you the tools to make the most dramatic shift. What you do with that is up to you. And before we start, I want to address the issue of prediction, because generally the idea in having a reading is that I'll see the future as it happens to you. That is sort of the naive perception. And I understand it if you're unconscious that you are a co-creator with life. A lot of people think life does happen to them. And it seems peculiar at this day and age that people still have that perception, but my experience is it's still the dominant perception. So life does not happen to you. You create, you co-create with the universe based on choices, patterns, based on higher intentions, based on responses. What I see is what is converging, what you're bringing together. And then I will make suggestions as to how that convergence can be directed to the greatest possible outcome. There are, however, some choices you've already made that will have consequence, and I will bring that to your attention. In which case you have to address those choices and maybe readdress them and redirect them. So we have two things. One is called purpose. That is co-creating in alignment with your highest soul intentions. And then we have karma, which is basically the corrections that we need to make based on past decisions, past choices that are still affecting us that have not been in our highest good. It doesn't mean punishment. It doesn't mean that you're going to get payback. But it does mean that consequences of your own choices will have to be faced. And so we're going to talk about karma. And I just want to say I work outside the template of this life. I work on the soul matrix. So it will involve the summary of all past lives as well as present circumstance. But what's relevant is the present. We just draw from the past what information serves us.
So for us, for you, we're a soul and we reincarnate in different lives and we face similar challenges, and it's up to us in one lifetime to heal that.
Eventually, it's, to me, I think the best metaphor is to look like each lifetime like a classroom. You go from classroom to classroom, you progress, but if you didn't learn your lessons from the year before, they're going to catch up with you the next year and you'll end up in remedial school. So if we understand that there's the only objective in life is to be in flow with our highest purpose, to be liberated from our own poor choices, and to be consciously co-creating with intuition as the beacon of light, which means your inner teacher, your inner voice, then life really gets very dynamic, very exciting, very, very meaningful, very profound, fulfilling. You feel good. You feel peaceful. The benefit of intuition is that it is a sense that is oriented inward. If you look at all your senses, your ears, your eyes, your nose, they're all oriented to the outer world. And so you're pulling in information from the outer world. Well, the intuition, even the word intuition means inner teacher, is taking the synthesis of all these frequencies, but letting your most authentic voice be the voice that responds. So you're not just parroting teachers, authority figures, the predominant social voice, but it's your voice, your most authentic voice. And so that's why intuition is so essential, because if you're not connected to your authentic self, you're missing who you are, and you're going to be searching for yourself when it's there all along. So,
and it's not either coming from fear and this voice that can sometimes alarm us for sometimes the wrong reason. That's not intuition either.
No, we do have an internal voice called fear, and it has a very different vibration. Mm-hmm. And yet there are times when intuition can warn you. Mm-hmm. And if you choose to ignore the warning by being, deliberately obstinate or willful or trying to force things, then you're going to feel uncomfortable. But when you listen to your intuition, no matter what the message, good, bad, or indifferent, if you're listening to your most authentic self and responding and communicating from that place, you will feel peaceful, even if the circumstances are challenging. So that's kind of the grid that I want to work with. Now, when I work with a person, I will often, I'll ask them for a birthday. Now, to me, that's like a phone number. That's like your frequency. And when I see a soul, for me, it's as though they're like a little spider coming down on a thread.
Really?
At this particular birthday, they're kind of dropping from spirit on this very thin thread. And that birthday is your thread. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not doing analyzing astrological. I am just dialing in on the frequency of your presentation to the earth experience. So I will ask for that birthday, and then I'll find that frequency very quickly. And then from there, I shift from personal consciousness to higher consciousness and start what is called channeling. I will start giving you the information that comes through about first the oversoul, who you are, where you've been, what you've learned, what you've done. I have very strong teacher guides that I've written about in Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose. My 3 bishops, and they are the ones that are doing this part of the reading. They inform me of your oversoul. So I'm just downloading pretty quickly. And then that comes to an end. I'll kind of pull back from that, and then I'll tune into a different frequency. I will then tune into your blind spots. So I will then work with a different teacher, and they'll show me what you're not seeing. After that, I'll come in and tune into your higher self and your constellation of guides in present time, and we'll start looking at what's going on for you today. And then at the very end of our reading, I allow you to ask questions based on this template of information that you've been given. Where are there particular challenges or particular curiosities? And so then when you walk away, you have a template, an understanding of your soul, a clear idea of your purpose as it is today, a clear idea of your shadows and your blind spots, which really is, in my personal estimation, one of the most relevant pieces of information, plus some very direct guidance on how to get back in flow in the moment.
Why is that the most relevant piece? The shadow and the blind spots?
Blind spots is because that's where we keep shooting ourselves in the foot, and we keep repeating the same mistakes and having the same throwbacks, and we have the same frustrations, and we keep experiencing the same disappointments, and an awful lot of energy is wasted in that regard. So if you can eliminate that, it's pretty powerful that you have all that energy freed up to create in a more efficient way, in a more effective way. So 99% of what I engage with people in readings is they have all these ideals and hopes and dreams and wishes, but their blind spots keep them tethered to a very unfulfilling experience, and they just get upset and feel victimized. So I try to empower people in that regard. So it's important. It's like, why won't my car start? Why won't my car start? And so the blind spot is, well, you're out of gas. It's sort of practical in a lot of ways. So with that said, that's how I go into a reading. So if you'd like, we can use you as our guinea pig.
Yeah. Empower us and people around us to make really efficient move. As your latest book says, traveling at the speed of love, going straight there. So,
well, I'd also like to address as we go through this conversation some of the myths that hover start the new year with you, and it's an important topic and something that I think will really empower a lot of people.
Yeah, intuition is especially important right now, and for me, you're one of the very important teacher for this coming year, for the next year to come, and I'm very delighted that people will have a sneak peek at our own personal session. This is actually how it works when people are in session with you, and I wanted to share this with as many people as possible so that we can really see in a very concrete, practical way what intuition can do for us. And how we can
around working with intuition, your own, or being guided so that you're well informed as a viewer and that you really are grounded in a sensible, conscious understanding of what intuition is.
Hello, Sonia.
Hello, Lilu. Bonjour.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so happy to talk to you. It's my first conversation of the new year, and what a great way to